Welcome to Chordially Invited.
Yeah, I'm Jason Spisak.
I am your host, Lily Kay.
I'm a voice actor in video games and television.
There's only one thing worse than a guy who can't make good on that.
Some of my earliest video games were SOCOM Navy SEALs, which is crazy. I played Jester. Lock and load, this is Jester! Years and years on, I was in The Last of Us, I was in Uncharted Golden Abyss, and I was on Clone Wars.
We make a pretty good team, don't we?
Wally West and Young Justice. You are a real archer. Scorpion and Spider-Man, PS4, PS5.
I apologize.
Until recently, and then I was in Arcane.
It comes to those who will do anything.
I also like your shelves and stuff behind you. I love the vibe. I love that it's sort of like this slightly out of focused, here's all the things that I kind of love and care about and inspire me artistically or creatively or intellectually. And they're just kind of hovering in the background, which is kind of like a metaphor for, you know, who we are as people. It's like, look, this is what I'm bringing to this conversation. And I just think it's really cool. And it looks really neat. So,
thank you. I'm got a few comments saying, why is it blurry? It's the camera. It's like I had to decide
because the focal length on the camera is for you, so people can see your facial expressions rather than, wow, I can see the spine on that book, but I have no idea what she said just now, or no idea. Like, did she raise her eyebrows? I don't care, but look at that book title. No, this is not the way we're going to do interviews, people.
Yeah. So at one time it was like I forgot that this has like a face tracking thing, and I forgot to turn it off. And then in the middle of the interview, it was lovely. I think it was Rebecca Hansen. I don't remember, but she was like, you have a square around your face. And I was like, what? Oh, shit. Whoops.
It was nice of her to tell you that. Yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed throughout the entire interview. I swear to God, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Yeah, I tend to not watch my own in any video call. I tend to just engage with the camera and look at the person.
Yeah.
Trying to make it as much like a real conversation so that we can have a rapport, so that I could, connect with the person.
Exactly.
Because it's already kind of odd and technological to begin with. So
very true. Very true. So it's nice to have you again. You weren't on this channel before, and that's what I was wondering, if you realized that we already had an interview together on to all the films we judged before. I had my lovely co-host Katie. And
I was going to say, I do think I remember you interviewing me, but it was with someone else.
Yes. It was right when Arcane Season 1 came out. And you were lovely enough to say,
so apparently you don't know better. Here you are calling me again. You have not learned your lessons. Hello.
Yeah, that's me.
It's kind. Fine, you're glutton for punishment. We'll take it. Okay, here we go.
Exactly. It's very lovely to have you again.
Thank you.
You have like more than 300 credits on IMDb, if I checked correctly. And you are one of the only people, or one of the few people, who were Joker and Batman as well.
That's correct. I played the Joker 3 times and Batman now. I got to play the Joker in Batman Hush, the adaptation for the screen, and I got to play the Joker, Lego Joker, and Teen Titans Go. Also, you silly Teen Titans, just go jump off a cliff. So I got to play that. I love Teen Titans Go Joker. He's just so funny and so he's just out there, and I love him. I've been very fortunate. I played a lot of DCU characters and a fair few of Marvel. So
exactly. Living the life.
I only want to tell a good story. That's all I want. I want me to disappear and the character to be present, whatever the story.
That's brilliant, actually. And I want to start with, because that's where we left off in the previous interview. Obviously, we couldn't talk about season 2 of Arcane because it was not out yet. And it was like kind of up in the air of like, when is it exactly coming out? Whatever. Are you going to be in it? You were very secretive with like, maybe, maybe not.
I mean, I want to keep both my hands. Like, I don't want to I don't want to have the guillotine of the NDA coming, come and haunt me.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm very, very fortunate that they put me in it at all. I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen season 2 Arcane, please stop watching now.
Yes.
Give you a second. Okay. That my character perished at the end of season 1 at the hands of his daughter, Jinx. I was like, I'm done. And then in season 2, we get Ghost Silco, we get Flashback Silco, we get Alternate Universe Silco, and of course, when she puts me in the lake, real-time Silco, going to the bottom of the lake. So we got all the versions of Silco that we possibly could get.
Yeah.
And Christian and Alex, I was very grateful for them that they left no stone unturned there because, in telling the reality of this story, Silco has to die so that Jinx can become who they are. It's a metaphor for fatherhood. Like, I have two daughters and I have to take a step back and honor who they are so that their identities can be fully formed. I can't be, imposing my will on their life past a certain point, that parenting ends and their life begins. And so Zuko does have to die so Jinx can become who they are. And, you know, uh, but yet we still got a chance to see that he's hanging around and in a way wants her to be the best version of herself when he says, the cycle only ends when you find the will to walk away. And this is almost like if Silco were alive and able to finish his trajectory of character growth that we saw him on, he's not the same man at the end of the season one as he was at the beginning. Jinx has positively affected his life. That's what happens when you're a father. You're not the same when a daughter comes into your life. You just have to change. You're met with, that reality. And he's getting to be a better version of himself, and that's cut short. And so we see in season 2, maybe inside Jinx's mind, this version of him where he wants her to be the best version of herself, and so I think that's beautiful. And then we learn that young Silco was an idealistic visionary and revolutionary, and somehow it got twisted into a violent success by any means amorality, I would say, not an immorality, but just an amorality, that nothing matters but the goal. And that we get to see kind of how that ended up, and almost sad that he didn't find the note. And he becomes more of a tragic figure in season 2, which I think is beautiful and a complete telling. I mean, Silco is one of the most well-written characters, I think the most, that I've had a privilege to play, excepting Shakespeare. And then we get to see alternate universe, the idea that if we make a different choice, what's possible, and that this is what Vander and Silco were originally fighting for, and that in a way makes it even more tragic. So what a gift to be able to play. I was so lucky.
And I want to know your opinion, because obviously this is our chance to talk about it. What did you think about the alternate universe
I didn't want to leave
storyline?
it. I didn't
Right?
want to leave. Like, there was this pallor that hangs over the rest of the world. And then when you went into the AU, you felt as though things were kind of right, that they ended up in a place where hope is achieved. And that is a beautiful place. It's something we all would like in our own lives. We all have a vision of the future that could be better than the present. And there it was,
Yeah.
living and breathing. And the power to forgive has real meaning in, look what it has done. Where he used to say power, real power, is his thing in season 1. But maybe the power to forgive transcends some of that brutalist version of power that he was exercising in season 1. And here you have this glorious outcome, this beautiful outcome where people are thriving. And I didn't want the episode to end, because I knew I was going back to a place where the seeds of misery are sown by our own hands. And so it's so true in our own lives that sometimes we sow our own seeds of misery, and we're just powerless to do anything about it. And there it was like, oh, look, even though these things happened and I made these choices, it still bore lovely fruit. And I just didn't want to leave. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's honestly, like, I love the entirety of season 2, but that episode easily beats all of them for me. It's so beautiful, and it's so
To see
nice to
Powder and
see.
Echo in their
Yeah.
relationship, and like you're just like, this is how it should be.
Yes. Give me more.
And you
Give me
crash back
more.
into reality. Just
Yeah. Yeah. It's still brilliant, but it's like, give me more of
yeah,
that. Like, bring it back. What are we doing?
please.
Please.
Yeah.
And what did you think about overall the ending? Because it is a 2-season arc, and it's now.
It's, how do I say this? It is difficult to compare season 1 and season 2, because
Mhm.
season 1 is very grounded and takes place, other than the time jump, in a very linear fashion where you get to see this sort of thing. And season 2 takes liberties with projections into time and magic, and the stakes become, world level stakes. And things happen to stories when they get so big and they get so consequential. So it's just a different type of story. Me personally, I prefer the type of pace of story that is like season 1. But then again, I like levels 3 through 8 of D&D, and I'm not a huge fan of level 20 D&D, where you have to have these huge monsters or these huge world things. After level 13, you have to make up things that are so big. I like the small, tight stories with intimacy and consequence. They appeal to me more as a person, but that's just a personal preference as to why I like season 1. And of course, Silco's all over it. No, I'm kidding. But storytelling wise, it's just something I enjoy more.
Yeah.
But season 2 is so beautifully executed, and it's so beautiful to behold. And the music is, I don't even know how they managed to make music be, a notch above season 1. I was just like, oh my, you're blowing my mind. So, you know what? It's hard to compare a delicious fruit you love to another delicious fruit you love. It's like, I got fruit, so I'm good. Yeah.
That's very fair. I like that very much. I will have one more question about Arcane, and then we're going to venture into other things that you did. And this comes from our producer, as he was wondering of what did you initially
Hello,
thought?
producer.
I'm going to give it. Hello, producer.
What is their name?
Tu. Yeah.
Hello, Tu.
And he is asking because I made him watch Arcane. He hasn't seen it before, and I made him sit down and watch
You
it.
strapped him to the chair and forced his eyelids open.
I didn't have to. He really enjoyed it.
Arcane, the series that compels you to forcefully making friends watch the series. This is probably true, actually. Somewhere on the back of a t-shirt.
Yeah. Maybe it's on my t-shirt with Jinx being on the front, and it's maybe on the back. But anyway, his question is, did you have any concerns about the relationship between Jinx and Silco and how it would be perceived by people when you read the script?
No, to be honest, I think, and I think this is another interesting thing, how much of the series is portrayed visually. And there's a lot to Silco when he's not saying anything. I mean, so as a voice actor, I can only take such partial and minuscule credit for the success of Silco's performance as a character, because there's so much of Arcane is when the characters aren't talking. I mean, look at how much of Arcane is beautiful because of what's not said. If you just read the script, just the words, it's so obvious to me that this is a man who has struggled with violence when he grew up and betrayal of a brother, and here he sees in this now orphan in front of him, when she jump hugs him in the alley, when Powder jump hugs him, he was going to kill her after she says where Vi is, and then go kill Vi, all in pursuit of this goal. And then something changes inside him the moment she jump hugs him, and it's like, I'm doing this for the people of the lanes, never forget that. So I'm doing it for this little girl. And she changes his life forever and adds a layer of humanity back onto him that was previously stripped away. And that is beautiful. That is what happens when a daughter comes into your life. Adopted, found, born, however the daughter comes into your life. This is, as a father, this is what happens to you. I know, I have two lovely daughters. So I explain it to people this way. A lot of people are like, he's just using her to get what he wants. There's all this projection that people put onto the story. And I'm like, well, let's just look at it logically. Let's say you have a very talented daughter. You're stuck outside this horrible neighborhood, or stuck in this horrible neighborhood where there's violence and there's crime, and your car is broken down. And you're not a great mechanic, but your daughter is a gifted mechanic. The only way to have her lead a better, safer life is to get out of that neighborhood. Would you tell her to sit on the side of the road while you fix the car, or would you ask her to help? You'd ask her to help.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he's imperfect. He's, busted from all of the, ways that he's had to grow up and people he's had to climb over to get where he is. But he firmly believes that with him in power, the nation of Zon is possible, that his way is truly the only way. And so he loves Jinx. He wouldn't let anything happen to her. And for the first time in his life, he has something to lose. which is a form of vulnerability and weakness. And that's not a place he's used to finding himself. And we behave all kinds of ways when we feel like we're in a new place and we're unsure and have unsure footing. And he's also dealing with a teenager. I've had 2 teenagers. Mine were amazing, but still
Teenagers. Yeah.
So like you're going to have those moments. So
Oh, definitely.
if you think about it on the whole, to me, the way the story is told, it is very messy and complex and close to how reality would be for me, given all the circumstances. If you commit to the imaginary circumstances of everything that's in the story, a pretty logical telling of it. And, people in their minds can imagine all kinds of stories and things and, whatever they want based on what they're bringing to the story. And that's one of the beautiful things about being a fan, is that your commitment to it allows you to engage your imagination. And I think there is no wrong interpretation of the script or the words or whatever. If it's art. So people are going to think and feel all kinds of things. It's going to bring things out of you. And all that is a compliment to the artists, the musicians, the writers, the actors, when fans connect with it in whatever way they do. It's art. It's meant to evoke a feeling inside you. And I think that's the highest compliment, is that people have questions. Yeah. They are, they're digging into it. What a compliment. I mean, if no one was talking about any of the relationships in this, Vi and Caitlin, are they this? Or Jason, Victor, are they that? Like, if no one's talking about the relationships in your story, you haven't told a good story. So, I mean, I'm like, great. This is good. It's the highest compliment that can be paid.
Definitely.
But to me, it's fairly clear, this beautiful found father-daughter relationship, and, someone who will stop at nothing finally has something to lose. And it's just, to me, it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. Like, I am not surprised that so many people fell in love with this story, and it became such a huge thing, and it's well deserved. Honestly, I just can't wait to have more, and hopefully we're gonna get more. That's the hope. And
I think they're headed to Noxus next.
Yes. So there's a lot more to discover.
I'm dead. What do I know?
What? Okay. What are you not telling us, Jason? What is that?
I'm not telling you nothing. I'm dead. I'm not alive.
But you could be someone else.
I think that is not what acting is.
No?
I think it's obvious that I only play myself all the time.
Yeah, right.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
What are we even talking about, right? And your lovely co-star, Miss Ella Purnell, is now in Fallout. And you are in Fallout for now only in the video game version. But I wonder, is if the phone would ring and they would ask you that.
Of course. I would play a dead Volpace on the side of the road that she just walks by. Although I don't know, that ship seems to have fully sailed at this point. But I mean, I'd gladly play the guy in the wolf hat. I mean, they could put sunglasses on me. Nobody would know it was me. Kind of like somebody who wants one of those cameos as a stormtrooper in Star Wars just to be on the... And no one knows it's Daniel Craig or whatever, right? Like, I'd do that. I'd be like, just put the sunglasses on, put the wolf hat on me, make me all made up, gaunt, like I'm dead. And she just walks by me in one shot. Now we're talking. I mean, I don't have to be like... Don't make me lash you to a cross like those degenerates in Nipton. Like, I don't have to be Volpace. I'll be a corpse. I just love the game, and there's so many fans who spent so many hours just enjoying that world.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. What scares me about Fallout. Like, I haven't played it. That's the honest truth, because it just seems to be so huge, and I get scared of those games. I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do or where to go first or how to.
But the rabbit holing is part of the joy.
I know. I went down those rabbit holes so many times and I'm like, oh no. But I have to play it because I'm not going to lie. I love the series so much. And I think it's pretty done for even for people who haven't played the game. I think it's so well told out. It's the same as Arcane for me, because I didn't play League of Legends and Arcane made complete sense, and I think that's when you're very good at storytelling, that's how you do it. And
it's a rich world with lots to draw from. The characters are iconic, and fully rounded and strange, and the stuff that happens, it's just so outlandishly fantastic. And so, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you should pick up some of the Fallout games,
I
but make sure
definitely
that you
should.
take breaks.
Yeah, definitely. And since you mentioned Star Wars, you are in Star Wars as well. You are Lux in Clone Wars, and I've seen so many other things next to your name when it comes to Star Wars. You did many, many, but this I laughed so hard at this. I saw a snippet of an interview on X as I was doing my research, and you said,
I'm sorry, that means you had to be on X for more than 3 seconds.
I know. I survived. It's okay. I'm here.
Toxic.
Just a little bit. And you said that the description for Lux was think Hermione and Harry going on an adventure. And I
Yeah,
cannot help but think,
yeah.
was there any other descriptions like
Nope.
that you just went like,
Oh, I see. Was there other descriptions like that
yeah,
in my history of
no,
being a voice actor?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. I thought you meant like, did they give you anything else to go on? As Lux, no. Yeah, of course. The when I played Scorpion for Spider-Man, they
Yeah.
said, imagine someone who is alpha wolf and the leader of a wolf pack.
Okay.
It's crazy that I remember these, by the way, because they, as actors, voice actors, the only touchstone we get sometimes is like 10 words or
Yeah.
2 sentences.
Yeah.
They don't give us any artwork. I didn't know at the time that it was Scorpion because the game was super secret, and it didn't.
Okay.
I don't even remember what they called the character at that point, but it wasn't Scorpion. And
Mm-hmm,
when I
mm-hmm.
read for Lux, it wasn't Lux. You didn't even know you're reading for Star Wars. So all you have to go on is this description. I think when I read for Wally West, they said lovable douchebag, but I didn't know it was Kid Flash. So imagine creating a character, you don't know who it is. You don't know, so you can't go look up the history of Scorpion in this comics. You can't do any of that. You don't even know you're talking to Ahsoka as Lux. Like you don't even know, right? And they've changed the word Jedi to something else. And if you're smart, sometimes you can intuit, oh, it looks like this is Star Wars, or oh, whatever. But sometimes you have no clue because the abusification is pretty intense to keep it secret. Even as far back as when Clone Wars was created. I mean, now it's even a bigger deal that they don't want to let the names of things out, and they even try, way harder. Um, so there was that one. Silco said London Gangster. What's really interesting is I've talked to Mick Wingert about this a couple times, and he says, like, I read for Silco and I didn't come anywhere close to what you did. How did you do that? Because he's like, London Gangster, we've got these things, and it's got, this sort of way of being. And like, London Gangster, is it like lock, stock, and two smoking, like barrel? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's not what came to mind, wasn't Guy Ritchie. And like, the reason is because I read the words. I read the the monologue from the beginning of episode 3, which was the beginning of the pilot before they chopped the pilot to be the first 3 episodes, was the audition. There was only like one other scene, but it only had just like very small banter. But the big thing was the monologue. And I'm like, do you ever wonder what it's like to drown? It's the story of opposites. I'm like, this is a smart guy. This is a guy who's playing chess when other people are playing checkers. This is a guy who his power comes from not intimidation, like a gangster you're worried about, but the fact that when you're in a room with him, he already knows that how you got here, how you plan to leave, if you're going to leave, and what you were going to do after this, and he's already canceled your plans. That's very different. It feels very different. So when I read those words, and again, as a classically trained theatrical actor, having done Shakespeare, the words are your guide. What you say and what others say about you is so important. You have to honor that. Regardless of what the description says, regardless of what someone else imagines, they're going to pay me as an actor to use my imagination and use my craft to make a believable human or creature that operates in this universe according to these imaginary circumstances. And so when I read that monologue, I was like, no. This guy, he has an intellect on him that is unmatched. and he doesn't need any weapons. His weapon is his mind and his ability to manipulate and all of that. And that sounds very different. It sounds like smoke enveloping you to do his bidding. That was one of the things that Christian and Alex said when I came to the callback. They said, we loved what you did. You know, our image in our mind for this, and this wasn't on the sheet, is that, I don't think it was, that it's, his voice is like smoke enveloping you to do his bidding, you know? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, that's how I felt too. So it clicked. Yeah.
Because I always wonder as an actor myself, but I mostly die in things, so it's, you know, it's still great. I like to die.
No, wait. As an actor, I die in things all the time. Excuse me. Wally West, Scorpion, Silco, like the list goes on. And in Fallout, most people have killed me. Come on. Like I die all the time. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes they hire me just so that I'll create a character people will fall in love with so they can kill them.
Yeah.
Kind of worries me.
Yeah. But apparently if you die many times in things, then you're going to live longer.
Hey, I like this. This is what I'm going with, even though I have no clue if it's true. I believe you. Lily, I 100% believe you.
Thank you. That's how I keep the hope up.
But she said I would live longer.
That's how I go about it. Like, I die in everything, so that means I'm going to live forever. Easy. Right on. Easy. That's how it works.
It's like reverse Cat 9 lives. Your characters die so that they come to you.
Exactly. I'm just collecting souls. I'm like, give it to me.
That's not creepy at all.
No.
I just go around collecting souls.
And I always wonder, how do you prepare for a role? Do you have like a process of like, I don't know, do you write it out for yourself of like, what do you think this character is, or how is your preparation?
I was actually having this discussion. We were doing some ADR for this new movie that I'm in called The Vast Lonesome. It's a Western ghost story and feature film, and it'll be hitting the festival circuits this summer. I was talking to these younger actors, you know, about process. And they were talking about some of their classes that they were taking and some of the teachers and everything. And I said, what's going to happen is certain things are going to resonate with you. As an artist, your job is to learn as much as you can about the craft, all the different ways other humans approach it. But none of those humans are you. None of those teachers are you. So when you hear somebody say something that doesn't jive with your intuition or the way you feel, you go, I'm not going to use that. But then someone's going to say something super useful. And you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I resonate with that. Like this teacher says to go from the outside in. So I get a body posture and then I start generating and I feel the character. Or this teacher says it's in the voice, or this teacher says it's in the background, writing down the history of the character, whatever. It's your art. So you determine which of those methods speaks to you. And that's part of the training. The more training you get, the more you work on the craft of acting, you'll always have the mechanics of scene breakdown. You'll have the mechanics of, you know, characters and the stuff of acting, which they call, you know, if in a scene, what is your objective? What is your actions? What is your subtext? These are all the mechanics of acting. But eventually that'll just inform your intuition, and your intuition will be very strong. And what I find is that some characters just materialize in my imagination and things happen and I go, oh yeah, I like the way that sounds, or oh yeah, I like the way that feels, or yeah, if I use this body movement, it kind of makes me remember that I have this bum shoulder, so that how is that going to affect my voice? And I'll be putting some physicality into it. I'll be a mixture of all kinds of things. And some characters less so. Some characters I find that they're not speaking to me as readily, and so I have to fall back on some mechanics that I have learned in acting more than my intuition. And so as an artist, it depends. The answer is, what kind of material is in front of me? Is it speaking to me? Is this character something that there's something inside me as an artist has longed to express, and this is my chance, and it just blossoms and is created? Or is this something that I need to dig a little deeper inside myself? So the process changes to me based on where I am as an artist and what the material is, what I'm asked to play. And it's kind of like a little bit of alchemy between the two. I'm never without my instincts. I'll always, you know, go with those. I've learned to just trust them so that I can arrive at something fully formed fairly quickly now at this point in my career. Um, but I don't have a set process. It's sort of like an architect who comes to a site, looks at the site, and lets the earth inform the building that will be there. Or an artist who looks at the canvas and lets the moment that they're in inform what's going to go on that canvas, right? That's the way I approach it. Some artists are incredibly literal. They're building this house and they've been building it in their mind, and then they go find the right piece of land for it and plop it down. There's no wrong way to approach it. It's art. But for me, I'm just a little more informed by the moment. I think it comes from a place of intuition now. So no set process. But I love playing with voices. Like for Batman, I loved finding the 9 voices of Batman. It's Bruce. It's Bruce when Bruce is in his head. It's Batman when he's with Gordon. It's Batman when he's threatening a criminal. It's Batman in Bruce's head as Batman in Bruce's head. And they all have this sort of different tone, which brings out a fully fledged character who suffers from, a psychological schism.
As I went on my research, obviously, many things popped up, but this was my favorite thing. And it was so funny. I don't know if it was actually you who answered this guy, but I won't
I'm afraid
believe
of
it
what
was.
you found.
I found
What you gonna say?
that
I blame
on Reddit, someone wrote a very big post about your Joker performance.
Yeah, that they hated it. Yeah.
Yes. So it was you who answered. I guess that's
it was me.
That was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, that was back when I kind of was still on the internet. I tend to just not do that. You and I had a brief discussion about
Yes.
that it pre-filters for negativity more
true.
than is actually in the world. It's a cognitive bias that forms in your brain after you read too much of what's on the internet, that you think people are all negative and they're not, but
Yeah.
it does allow people to channel their negativity with no consequence. And so we end up with this skewed version of reality.
100%.
Yeah, they went on a diatribe about how they hated my Joker.
Yeah,
Which they are welcome to do. I mean, like, I love when someone is so invested in their love of a story or of a character that my interpretation of it, almost either angers them or they just have so much vitriol or disbelief about that I would even be allowed to play the role or whatever the case may be. Because I'm like, wow, they are invested in this story. Yeah. It's a story. It's just a made up character, and like, it's a story. So yeah, I don't ever begrudge anyone for their opinions or their imagination or anything. And I think I can't remember what my response was, but I think it was very compassionate and accepting.
I think it was, and I loved how he immediately backtracked. Like, no, dude, I love you. I think you're. It's like, it's so human nature, right? When you get called out a little bit and you're like, oh, no, like, I still like you. It's just,
I hate your Joker, but I like you. I have no problem separating the art from the artist. I have no issue there. It's fine.
There you go. But how are you in general with criticism? Are you the kind of artist and actor who is very critical of themselves? Or
already, yeah, I don't need anyone's help. Yeah, I think, but that's what makes me, always striving to improve. I'm always looking to improve my craft. 100%. But I also know that where I am at that moment in my career and what I am deciding to do and what the project is offering me and everything else, I can't change the circumstance. I can't change any of that. So what comes out is my expression in the moment, my belief in what I feel the character would sound like and everything. But it's also possibly the voice director is asking me for something. They could be saying, we want this to land in this pocket for the Joker. And that may not be where that person imagined Batman Hush in their mind when they were reading the comic. They imagined a younger Joker. But Sam, is creating this adaptation and is like, no, I think actually we need him here. And they help me with those vocal choices and guide me in a place where ultimately it's their decision. It's their interpretation. So it's a collaborative effort. And ultimately, fans are passionate, which is beautiful. I love it. I mean, if someone comes up to me and is just like, I think you did an awful job. I'm like, I'm glad you watched it. Because like imagine no one's gonna tell me I did an awful job if they didn't watch it.
That's true.
So like
That's
great. You
that's
know,
so
you
true.
watched something I was in? Dude, I'm like, I'm already winning. I'm already winning. I'm not just doing this alone for my own health in my studio here.
Exactly.
Someone watched my stuff. It's sort of
Yeah.
like Mike Wazowski in Monsters Inc., right? Like
Yes.
you see the commercial and then his face is covered by the logo and he goes, I was on TV. Like, and I'm like, that's how I view life. Like, it's such a
I love
positive
that.
and wonderful experience
Yeah.
to get to do what I do.
Yeah. That's
No
so awesome.
no one can take that away. So yeah,
I'm learning so much from you, honestly. Like, I think that's such a healthy way to look at it as well, of
sure,
like,
sure. I think you
and
have to let go of the egotistical view of a
100%.
lot of what's driving you in this life.
Yeah.
And I would credit some meditation for some of that and a lot of, personal growth and working on myself to just let go of the idea that uh, I'm looking at this world from such an ego-driven standpoint because there's much that tries to convince us as that we are individuals, and the capitalistic drive for to me to get my stuff and all of this, and that's never really how I was wired. And when I dipped my toe into Hollywood, I saw a lot of that messaging, and I just kind of fought against it the whole time. And it's never sat well with me because I love the collaboration behind art. I want to disappear. If you hear Jason, I've made a mistake. If you're thinking about me as an actor, I've made some kind of mistake. I just want you to be in the story. And in a sense, the best part about my craft is giving the ego up, get, setting it down so that the story can be told. That is the primacy. The primacy is that what we're giving to the audience is something for them to experience in their imagination. And it has nothing to do with, like Jason, it has nothing to do with me.
You're a programmer, if Wikipedia wasn't lying to me.
I mean, professionally, yes, I have programmed in the past and I still do some programming. And yeah, I mean, Python was my language of choice for years. And these days, if you talk to a lot of professional programmers, they can feel the change in their industry. Again, not to say this is good or this is bad, but
Mm-hmm.
many of them haven't written a line of code in the last year, or very few, because of the large language models being, progressively better at coding, and they've turned into more, code reviewers, code managers, whatever that may do to the craft of being a programmer, because that in and of itself is a craft.
Mm-hmm.
It is fascinating and enlightening and just like wow to me, what a sea change. um I think that the concept of machine tools doing jobs for us is not new. I think a
True.
lot of people object to artificial intelligence, not really just large language models, doing work for humans. They
Mm-hmm.
object to, initially there was this code quality objection, like, oh, it's producing garbage and everything, and that objection is just falling away rapidly.
Yep.
And it's obviously showing that in programming, sub agents and open code and open claw can do things, in an incredibly efficient manner as you have all these sub agents talking to each other. It's awesome. I've actually done it. I'm fascinated by it just to see what's on the offing. Um, but I think the biggest objection I have is how this came about. And
Yeah.
that is a transfer of wealth from the creative community. And I'm going to put the programmers in there as the creative community,
Mm-hmm.
open source community, yeah, writers, artists, um, a huge transfer of uncompensated wealth to these companies. And that's not okay. Our
Yeah.
culture has a set of laws that says, look, in order for me, Jason, to take in, I don't know, a James Coburn novel or somebody's novel into my head, I have to pay for it. I have to read it. And then as a writer, I can digest that along with Stephen King and everybody else. And I have to buy Stephen King's novel to read it. I have to I have to pay for those in order to put them into my brain and spit them out. Yes, LLMs do what humans do. They grab onto knowledge, mess it around a little bit. They're more of a pattern matcher, not an imagination machine. They're, whatever the case may be, and then they spit out something else that's kind of an amalgam of what goes into it. Fair enough, humans do something similar, but I have to pay for the book.
Yeah.
I don't just like intuit Stephen King out of the air and magically have read his tomes and then that's not how it works. So the fact that the artists, the artistic community, the creative community, the programming community was robbed of those royalties, which they are deserved according to our laws and our society structures, is unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair, and it's theft.
Yeah.
Regardless of how people get paid for how it comes out or all that stuff, if you just don't factor any of that in and you just looked at the appropriation of their royalty, that's illegal, and it should be, and there should be a huge outcry, because the money that went into creating these LLMs is venture capitalist money, and all that wealth should have been returned to the creative community. That should have been right. Your venture capital money, you want to create these things, great. Return the wealth to the creative community where it belongs, and now your machines are going to do what you want. If that means I only sold 8 copies of my book because there's only 8 major LLM corporations, fine. Then that's how it goes. That's what the laws say is going to happen. And I got paid for 8 copies of my book or my song or whatever it might be. But the wealth in and of itself would have been transferred, as it should be, to the people who created those works. And the fact that that didn't happen is outrageous. It's immoral. It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's not the way that we built our society. It's not the contract. It's not the handshake we made. And I think everyone has a right to be pissed there. Not that the tools aren't cool, but it's interesting to see. And again, I don't know how we fix that. I'd really like to find a way to fix it, but saying that we shouldn't use these tools at all, it's unfortunate because they are quite capable.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want the capability. I want what this can do. Could this help us solve climate change? Could it help us cure cancer?
Yeah.
These are lovely, possible, hopeful outcomes. Great. Yeah. Let's do that without thievery. I'd love to have both there, because I don't see it as a black and white question. It's not like you can never use these tools because X. I'm like, well, let's just fix X, work on that, and let's see if we can get some of the hopeful stuff here.
Yeah.
So again, it's tough. It's a difficult, nuanced discussion to have. And it's difficult to be vilified these days because, I mean, it's obvious you'll be vilified these days by some side of the argument if you try to have a nuanced discussion about pretty much any topic, which is why I don't. I mean, I'm saying all this in public, and I'm sure some people will be like, he's horrible or whatever. And then, maybe somebody will say, well, actually, he's just trying to take it in and hasn't made up his mind. He's trying to figure it all out, which is what I think a lot of us are doing. Yeah. And, that's my opinion on it. It's just an opinion.
It affects, all creatives, and it's hard to be objective about it because I know how much it sucks. Now, what I do as an artist is kind of overlooked. I've seen my numbers drop. I have barely any commissions, and it is a big effect. And I see people keep talking about it and speaking up against it, rightfully so. But also, I know that there are many benefits to it as well, and I know that it can be actually very useful in different fields. It's just hard to
humans can't escape that a technology has both beneficial
100%.
and detrimental uses. Yeah. Every time we do this as a species, there's like, look at all this potential benefit. And then there's like, oh, but it has this horrible dark side that corporations typically tend to, glom onto because it's the best way to make money. And if they can get away with compensation, they'll try. And it's kind of the dark and light of the human condition sort of encapsulated anytime a new technology comes forward. And it kind of shows us who some of us are, and shows us who others of us aren't.
100%.
Sorry that's happening to you, by the way, Lily.
Yeah. It's sad because the saddest part about it for me is that I don't feel like drawing lately, and it was one of my biggest passions. And I know
it makes me so sad to hear. You can't. I mean, that makes me very, very sad to hear. Because art is your gift to the world. There's only one Lily. There's only one you. And the way that you process the world through your drawings is a singular gift of you, your experience, your DNA, who you've become. And without that, the human species is just a little less rich. And here you are, uninspired. And that is so sad. That is an actual objective loss.
I know, don't care about numbers, don't look at it, but come on,
Yeah,
we would be lying. Like, as you said it yourself, you go to the convention so you can meet the people who love your art, how they
that's why
perceive what
I'm
you did.
there. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm alone in a
exactly.
room, and I want to see my fans. I want to see if they
Exactly.
were affected by the art that I do, because as an artist, that's
Exactly.
kind of why I got into it.
Yeah. And when it goes away and it's, you can't get any feedbacks. I mean, I did my last Comic Con last year. I'm not going to do any more because
Hmm.
it became, unfortunately, something that is not, yeah, it's not working out anymore. And it's pretty sad. That's the sad part about it. It's like, I don't want to lose my art and I don't want to stop doing it. But at the same time, I feel like, why am I doing it? If there's no
Yeah,
one to,
I would say there there will always be some human that will be
yeah,
affected positively,
yeah.
and even if it's the numbers are small,
Mm.
you don't know who's watching, who's listening, who sees it, who's inspired to also be an artist. It's sort of like, does one flower matter? And in an entire field of dead plants, the answer would be yeah. I think you would, and I would probably agree that one flower still matters.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't give up on that.
Yeah,
And
I
so
don't want to. And this is the point where I have to give a great praise for you. And you don't know about this because I don't even think you realize that you've seen my art and you signed my art because my lovely friend Matt went to
yeah,
see you at MCM Comic
yeah,
Con
yeah.
when I couldn't go. And you took his phone to leave me a message saying that you love the Silco art, which is behind me, that I made. And honestly, I
I
was
actually didn't
done.
know that was you when I saw it. I like initially when I saw the art, when
Yeah,
because at Comic Con it's just handed to you and you don't know who the artist is. You just have this immediate visceral reaction to what's on the page.
yeah.
You feel what the artist would have intended when you create it, which is just, as a human, you connect to it. It makes you feel something, whatever that might be. So yeah, I had no idea that was actually your art at the time.
Yeah. But you were lovely. Matt sent me the message that you recorded on his phone.
Lily, this is Silco. I think this is absolutely amazing. Well, it's perfect. Cheers.
I have to be 100% honest. That message was the reason why I reapplied for Comic Con the next year. I was like, come on.
Lily,
So I'm
that's
very
lovely.
grateful for you because it really
Sure.
helped to push me out of that bit of a
Yeah.
sad,
Headspace.
depressed headspace
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
Comic Con just rejected me, they don't need me anymore, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was able to
Well,
go
they're
back
not
the
the
next year.
ultimate arbiters of taste. They're not. And just
Yeah,
like the people online where you can't put too much stock in the random person or
yeah,
whatever the case may be, I am grateful that I got a chance to see your art as another artist. And I tend to go around to Comic Cons, and I also
I
try to go to
know.
all the stalls and look at the art
Yes,
and praise the artists and take in their work, and so that they can visually see me and feel that
yeah,
I am affected, because human beings, we are creatures of connection. And these days, we're all too often disconnected. And I want them to experience that. I want them to feel what that is like, to have an artist who delved into this character, who did his best to try to tell the story, react to their reaction. That to me is beautiful. And it's sort of this, like two fireworks going off in this moment. And hopefully, joy is produced from that, something positive. So I'm glad that
100%,
something
100%.
positive
Oh
was.
yes,
Never ever give up, because
I
you're
won't.
incredibly talented, and
Thank
you
you.
have something that only you can offer.
Thank you. I know. I will push through this. I did it before, but I feel like it's a bit more down at this point. But I will push through and
I
I will
believe
keep
in
doing
you.
it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. It means
you're
a lot.
welcome. And sometimes it just means a change. It's just something
Yeah.
used to feel a certain way, it doesn't anymore. And what will it feel like in the future?
Yeah.
I remember there were times when I was losing the passion for doing voice acting. For whatever reason, roles hadn't come, I hadn't gotten them. Your career has ups and downs. I've been at the bottom of that trough, and I felt like, oh gosh, I don't know what it is right now. I feel like I can't call forth the muse.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just
It's stuck.
dark in there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to all artists. You're A,
100%.
not alone, and you're B, nowhere near the end of your beautiful journey as a creator. So this is just a moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you. Before we get into the fan questions, we have to talk about D&D because I scrolled through your Instagram and I was like, oh my God, he plays D&D. I fucking
Oh
love that.
yeah. I
So
don't just play. I was DMing Saturday, and then I was at a table on Sunday.
amazing.
So like, I both love both sides of the table. I love creating modules. I love writing stories.
Yes.
Love, 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 love.
But what was your introduction to D&D?
Oh,
To
yeah. I've been asked this a couple times, and I was like, I think it was second edition. I played a thief. My long-term memory can be a little shoddy here and there. It's just I have a really good short-term memory, almost eidetic. I can pick up scripts and remember the words if I've only seen them a couple times. And the further out it gets, the foggier it gets. Unless it's lines I've learned or movies I've seen. Like, human memory is different for all of us. But one of the things I remember the most that I loved about it so much was it was theater of the mind. We didn't have these maps. We didn't have like any of the stuff that goes in front of us. And what I love playing at table is when an entire encounter, an entire setting is just told by the DM. This is
yes.
the way. This is the way that it
Yes.
used to be, so that nothing gets. Because otherwise, I was talking to my friend Tommy Gofton about this. He's a DM, and he's been playing D&D a long, long time, and He's our DM when we do
Hmm.
on stage. Uh, it's called the Scoundrels now. It used to be called Squad 20. I don't know, the name's in flux, but we do it at live play at conventions. And I said, when you have these maps and things, what tends to happen is all the attention and all the energy at the table goes like this. And everybody starts looking at the map and in their head and calculating distances and doing all this stuff. Whereas if the map isn't present, it's here. It's how far am I away from that? Is there anything else in the room? Is there a table? Is there a chair or rug, whatever? Is there something like that? And you and the dungeon master are collaboratively telling a story about what's going on during the encounter. And there's intense creativity. You never stop discovering what's in the space. You never, quote unquote, I have my plan. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move from that table to this to that. It's a totally different part of your brain.
Hmm.
Not that the set pieces aren't freaking wicked awesome. Not that the maps aren't beautiful. Map creators, you guys are awesome. It's just a different experience.
Yeah.
So I prefer to have theater of the mind for as much of the adventure as I can,
Yes.
and only bring out a battle map maybe for the final battle.
Hmm.
Maybe. If I
Hmm.
can. That would be my ideal, is
Yes.
theater of the mind the entire time, not getting people too hung up on those visual
Visuals. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
interpretations,
Yeah.
and instead stay in theater of the mind all the way until like the very, very end. Which, when you were playing a long time ago, you might have had a lead figurine that you got lead poisoning from painting. You might have had something to represent the space, whatever. But it
Yeah.
was, it wasn't the kind of set pieces that we had now. So theater of the mind was still quite present. If you're online, and there's a tool that I use called Shard Tabletop, which is very close to the paper game, as close as I can get, but still being a digital tool, because it manages everything for me like a DM. I write the book. It has all the links to the content. I can click and see the content, so I don't have to flip through the books. It gives me those digital benefits where I can just click and read the content. It's very, very fast. And when I need a map, it's there. When I don't, I shut it off and it's theater of the mind, and we're using whatever it is, Google Meet and whatever, to see each other. Um, and I've gotten good feedback because it also has, places in the book where I can actually specify specific music cues and things like that. So I would say if you're used to Roll20 or Foundry, it's less video game like than those. It doesn't get into that uncanny valley where the people tend to be thinking they're playing a video game, and it lets me keep some theater of the mind even in a digital setting, which I appreciate. It's not that it can't go full video game with fog of war and this and that and maps and tokens and you move it and it's got spell representations. It's not that you can't do that. But to me, I feel like it allows you to play the game and not the tool. So that's why I like it. But again, like DMing, like anything else, GMing now, it's set of personal preferences for how you want the players to experience the story. And my one advice, I'm actually very close. I think I'm going to have a website that has courses on how to play, to introduce people to D&D and to introduce dungeon masters on the style that I think is really, really powerful. That theater of the mind style. Because ultimately, the one thing you have to remember as a dungeon master is it's not your story. It's their story.
It's their story. Yeah.
You wrote these modules. You have all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the best DMs are the ones who realize it's their story. It's the player's story. And some people call that yes and, but that's like a really shallow version of what it being their story truly means. It's you have to take a back seat to the way that these beautiful characters are coming to life. You're offering them things in the world for them to take advantage of, to grab onto, to form experience, to have, near death or to have triumph or all of this stuff. And it's far less prescriptive than I think many people who run games run it. So this is my 2 cents. I don't know. I don't know if it's helpful or worth anything, but that's, everybody, paints differently. So it's just the way I paint.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Like when I saw how many D&D like posts you have, like you're gonna be at a convention and you're gonna do live D&D. I was like,
yeah, I won't go to a convention without playing D&D now. It seems weird.
Yes.
Like to not play while I'm there. I'm like,
what is
why
this?
am I here? I'm here to meet fans and play D&D. Everything else is kind of like ancillary.
Awesome. I love that so much. All right, let's see these fan questions. This is from, hold on, Shiroban-kun. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. The question, Shiraban. Jason, I'd like to ask, would you upload videos on your YouTube again someday? I kind of miss them.
Yeah, I mean, actually, YouTube has a little bit less rabies than some of the social media platforms. I, as like kind of an open source advocate and an IP ownership advocate, like to me, I don't necessarily love propping up YouTube as the place where every creator has to go to be seen. Like the ultimate goal of all of us is to free ourselves, I think, from any form of centralized control of our content on the internet. The internet started out not that way. And the fact that it's now been driven that way into these silos where you need, if your stuff's not on YouTube, you're not a creator, right? Like that's strange. That's not actually how it works. You're a creator, and the internet allows anyone to click on your content literally from anywhere in the world on your own website. So why are we all, at the temple of YouTube having to bow and give them our offerings? I don't like it. So that's the reason I'm hesitant to post content. There's really not any other reason particularly about YouTube. So maybe I'm just busy.
Yeah.
So
busy.
And I kind of miss it too. I really do. I think I had a lot of fun posting those. I'd have to get some sort of workflow because I remember they used to take a lot of time. And I don't have that kind of time anymore.
Yeah, it does take a lot of time. But see, people miss you from YouTube, so
it's very kind of you, Shudo.
It's a sign that maybe you should do it again. Just saying.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
Right. Yeah, I got the bug in my ear. That's good. I mean, I could always just have this site where I have all things me, and they could come to that. I mean, that's true too. Where I've got my D&D stuff and everything else. I mean,
I couldn't find any of the live D&D sessions. Are they never recorded or?
This is really killing me. I actually told Tommy this. I was like, buddy, I mean, we all have cell phones. You've got to be able to set up a cell phone and record these. And people would love to see even just clips of 100%. Our shows. They're fantastic. I mean, some of them have made them on Instagram, when we're playing the Jenga and we're all doing the beatbox and everything. But so I told him I don't want to do another one of these without some way to actually have it recorded from just 2 angles.
Exactly.
Let's find a way. And he's just like, he's pulling his hair out. He has the Amaria book that he launched and a bunch of other things. I think he's doing a bunch of other D&D modules he's got the IP for. So
yeah. Because I would have
and I'm on stage,
see
so I can't do anything. I mean, I would just hold my phone out I'm busy in the show.
You're holding your phone like this and then also doing the show. It's
killing me. And that's the only reason we have any videos. Because I can't remember where we were. Toronto, Lucy Pohl, the incredibly gifted actress who's in Overwatch, I think. And just took her phone and videoed a part of the show. Like that's the only reason we have it is because she was like, we're not recording. So,
come on, do it.
I'm hard when it's difficult for me. It's difficult for me to record while I'm performing. I'm so into the story, especially when it's D&D. Like I'm so engaged in it. I'm like, oh, like I love being in the story. So I don't want to take my phone out to record.
That's fair.
I do have my character sheet on there just because it's easier than paper. Because I lose stuff.
Yeah, me too. I always lose everything. Next question is Kazemaru Yu. These names, I'm so bad at pronouncing them. I'm so sorry.
Kazemaru Yu.
There you go. You're better. That's
right.
Yes. I first know about Jason from his role in Fallout New Vegas. And I've been a fan since. And I'm quite interested in projects he's in, but some of them are hard to find, like the Hunters and Ave Maria. Is it still possible to get them? Like, where can I find or see in?
Oh, you mean, I think Ave Maria was a very low independent film that I was doing when I was very young, starting out live action on camera. I played this psychopathic murderer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you would find that. I have no clue where you would find Ave Maria. I'm not even sure it's available anywhere. And is Hunters a video game? I don't know, because that's not. I wasn't part of a live action film called Hunters that I know of. I was in a film called Time Lapse.
Yes.
Which had Danielle Pennybaker in it. I didn't do a lot of on camera. I've done just so much voiceover. It's just been where my career's kind of led me. So,
isn't Ave Maria available on DVD? Maybe
it might be. It might be available on DVD. I mean, I haven't shopped around for it. I'm guessing just it's possible that this wonderful person is in another country and they don't have access to that DVD in a foreign country. Like if I just search on Amazon, maybe it's available, but only here in the States or in the North American continent. I don't know.
Yeah,
that could be it. Yeah.
It's going to be a Google search, I guess. If I find it, I will put it in the description.
I guess what I should be doing is getting that link to the things that I've been in that you can purchase and buy up on my Linktree or somewhere for people to be able to purchase them. So that is a great form of constructive feedback that I should probably find them and put links like, hey, here are the things that I've been in if you want to go get them.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good idea. Why not? All right, two more questions. One of them is from Arcade224. My question would be, what was it like doing the mocap for Scorpion in Spider-Man game?
Okay, so the mocap, or also called performance capture, of Scorpion is a blend of two things. It's me and a stunt performer who is also an actor. Just he did happen to be doing stunts on that game. And so it's a blend of my face, my vocal performance, and at times his body performance, climbing around and getting thrown around and things. So I distinctly remember for Spider-Man 2, one day we were both called to set. They dressed me up in full HMC gear, all the dots and everything around, and they dressed him up, and both of us at the same time did the entire scene. And I did all the body movement, and so did he. And because I was like, what I said to them was, how about we just do the whole thing? Because sometimes they'll break it up and I'll do the part of the scene that doesn't require the stunt, and then the stunt performer will take over and do their part of the scene, picked up where I left off or something. And I was like, hey, how about we do the whole thing? So I want the stunt performer to do the whole thing, not just the stunt, and for me to do the whole thing, not just the stunt. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, because then you just get to pick what set of dots you like, where you like it, as opposed to this sort of arbitrary division. To me, we're all actors. And I said this during the strike. I said, look, the only difference between stunt actor and, non-stunt actor, whatever it is this strange arbitrary division where the Screen Actors Guild created contracts to cover stunts and things because what they do is physically different from what we do and more strenuous, and they have different, but we're all acting. And I remember saying this, do you not act when you are performing the stunts? Because I see you over there gritting your teeth. I see you over there squinting your face and hunching your, like, you're in it to win it. You are acting the same way I am acting. This arbitrary division between us as actors into camps is false. It's an illusion. And I want to do what I can to try to break down those barriers, because we're all one team trying to tell the story.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, it was fantastic.
It's awesome.
To be honest. It was always a good experience collaborating with Insomniac. They want to tell a good story.
Yes.
They want to tell a good story, and they're very good at it, and they don't stop revising and looking and digging until they feel like they have those moments right. And so it is an absolute joy and a pleasure to do PCAP for them. Cyrils
is here in the house asking the question. I'd like to know what stories or memories you have from Fallout New Vegas. I'm sure everyone's going to throw Silco at him, but New Vegas for me, always.
Oh, yeah. You, this is great. You remember when you asked me, were there any descriptions of the character?
Yes.
Like the 1 or 2 line descriptions we get that stuck in your head over the years?
Yep.
Of course. Volpe Inculta. It was a young Hannibal Lecter.
Wow. I actually like that. That's so cool.
Right? They were like, we want the creepiness of a Hannibal Lecter, but just young. And that was before the young Hannibal Lecter TV series and everything. All that had been out was the movie. And so, that's where that comes from. Yeah. For the Kaiser. It's this sort of very flat, almost robotic, but not quite creepy, because if you think about it, it's like, I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Like, it has this sort of way of being, and I just kind of backed off that a little bit, and so we worked on it in the booth for just a little bit. We worked on the voice and backed it off of that. I started with kind of a Hannibal Lecter kind of impersonation, and then just was like, where do you guys want to go from here? And we kind of backed it off a little bit, and there it was. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I think that might be my favorite one from the ones that you listed. Although the Hermione and Harry going on an adventure is just peak description.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
To describe Ahsoka and Lux that way is just like, okay.
It's like, what the hell? But I like it. It somehow works.
Like, Dave, did you write that description? Yeah.
Awesome. All right. These were your fans' questions.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you for being interested enough to ask questions. I appreciate it.
Before I let you go, did you maybe prepare a dad joke for me, or do you have a dad joke in your pocket that you can throw at me?
And I have so many that I've said in the past. I'm coming up with a blank.
I give you one then.
This is that moment to rise to the occasion where it's like, it's going to be Jason's dad joke. Oh! And I'm just on stage, just dying slowly, just fading away into oblivion. Oh,
it's all good. I give you one. Let's do that. What do you call a shoe made out of banana?
A slipper.
Yes.
What? I got one. What did the watermelon say to the cassava?
I don't know.
We cantaloupe. I got you with that one. So just edit out the part where my brain froze.
Okay.
Just to be like, Jason, just put in a still frame of me like this, and then cut to the dad joke.
Yeah, amazing. I love that.
That was a pretty decent one. I got you. I'm pretty sure you haven't heard that one, so I feel pretty good about it.
I haven't heard that one, and I love that joke.
Yeah. What is a honeymoon salad? Lettuce alone. Come on. I don't think you've heard that one either. This is great. Boom, 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 dish. Yes. Completely ignore the brain freeze because they're in there.
They
I
are
just
coming
need to
out.
get a head start.
You just needed the banana joke, and it all
correct.
came out.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, this was amazing.
It
People
was so
can.
lovely to see you again. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
for
it was
inviting me.
absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And people can see you at conventions. We're gonna put the
Yes.
dates in the description.
True. Yeah.
And
I'll put them on my Instagram, Jason Spisak
yes,
So
yes. So please
when I'm on there.
do follow Jason
And
and
watch The Vast Lonesome when it comes out.
yes.
And there'll be a few other announcements for video games that I'm in coming up this year. I can't say anything about them, but there are several. Great wonderfulness. It'll be interesting. A good year coming up. I'm excited.
Excellent. And we just have to get together again once the big things are out and we have to talk about them.
Yes, of course. Anytime.
Easy.
And I want you to know that you are a gifted artist and that you have so much to offer. And may that light never go out, because I could sense that you have something special the moment I picked up your art and looked at it. And I hope you felt that way when I sent you the message, because it would be an absolute crime to the human race if your art wasn't something you picked back up and just kept going with. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And it's
You're welcome, Lily.
very, very good to hear, because yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Next
now,
time I
but
come to London, I better see some new art.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Do my very best. All
Get
right.
on with
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let
Okay.
our followers, listeners, watchers, everyone go. But subscribe,
Yeah.
follow Jason, follow his journey. He's doing many amazing things. And go to conventions to meet him and see D&D live and get autographs and photos. I'll do my
Thank you.
best.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you are looking forward to the next one. I can promise you that there will be even more amazing guests coming on, and I just can't wait to share that with you. And just to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and like and comment. Stay in the loop. Stay with me. And there are other things coming, are already on the way. We'll find out soon. See you again next time.